Hello there and welcome back to another episode of Chris's Retro Corner. I am Chris, this is my Retro Corner, and this is the package that I had through the post earlier today. I'm not going to muck about, we're going to get straight into this because I'm really keen to see what's in here and to show you guys as well. So let's get into it. Right, there's a bit in here, so let's give you the preamble first. This comes to me courtesy of Ricky at umakerobots.com. He's been ever so kind and very generous, so I thank him greatly for this. He's had me in mind for this. I'll get to it, don't worry. He's had me in mind for this for a little while, so yeah, really happy to have a crack at this. So let's get into it a little bit more. Right, first thing in the box. There we go. Dragon 32 to Atari adapter. Okay, so this is You Make Robots' take on this particular device. I am looking forward to giving this a go. I do have a Dragon joystick adapter, so I can use Atari style joysticks on my Dragon 32. I've had some curious success maybe with it, so I'm really keen to give this device a go and see how it holds up. So thank you, Ricky, for sending that. Do keep your eyes posted, especially if you're a Dragon enthusiast as well, and you want to see how this device performs. So that's the first thing there. Bit of packaging, more packaging, bit more packaging, and we're down to the good stuff. Okay. Right. This is the main event. This is the main event. I could try and tease you. You've read the description. You know what this is. I'm not fooling anyone. So yeah, slightly smaller than I thought, but really quite weighty. That's interesting. Okay, let's pop this to one side for a second. Take those two items out of the box as well. Bit more packaging. There we go. Never have enough packaging. Let's carefully put that over there. Okay. What's in this one? Let's have a look. Aha! A power adapter. Excellent stuff. Most helpful, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, let's have a quick snoop in here as well. I don't know if I want to give. I don't know if I want to give too much away. I'll come back to that in a minute. So there we go. The main event. Might need that pocket knife back again, and very carefully we shall open this. Quite excited to see this. Rick and I have chatted about this a fair bit. Oh, where's that's really well packaged. Super. I think I'm there now. Okay. So the big reveal. I'm rubbish at unpackaging things, aren't I? Not really. A bit more tape. There we go. And that is now starting to take form. I think you can probably see what that is through there. I'd quite forgive you though if you don't know what this is. And you've read the description and thought, oh what? All will be revealed. There we go. Wow. Ooh, that is clean. Give me 2 seconds. Let's get rid of that. Right. Okay. So that is basically a Mattel Aquarius. I knew next to nothing about these. Ooh, how very interesting. I'll come back to that in a minute as well. If you're familiar with these, you'll know that's looking a little bit more busy than it should do. Back there. Right. So let's get the cable out of the way for now. And so you can see this lass in all her glory. So, like I said, this is Mattel Aquarius. I knew next to nothing about these until Ricky was like, "Oh, I don't suppose you've got an Aqua, have you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't. What's one of those?" And I started looking them up and learning at quite a pace. So the Mattel Aquarius came out, I think it was, if my memory serves me right, forgive me if I get this wrong, I believe it was June 1983. So yeah, after a number of 8-bit micros were already on the market. Via the Mattel company. Remember, Mattel had success with the Intellivision sort of at the end of the 70s. And they kind of wanted to move into the home computer market. And this was their entry. Apparently there were 2 different machines devised. This was the lowest spec one, so it's quite interesting. It's got a Zilog Z80 processor in it. It's running about, I think it's 3.5 megahertz. And all told, it's got 4K of RAM, which is a clear 1K less than my VIC-20. So it's an interesting machine. You'll see there the expansion port. There are a number of games and cartridges. There were expanders for these as well that allowed you to connect a couple of controllers to them. I think they were proprietary controllers, I might be wrong. But the mini expander there also came with an AY sound chip on it as well, so it's capable of doing some quite decent sound. I believe there was also... No, I was wrong. In the expander there is a socket, so you can put a RAM pack into it. The RAM pack is shaped, let's pop that in profile, sort of that shape. Ordinarily these would come with a blanking plate for here, but in all honesty, if you were trying to use it in earnest, you would get rid of the blanking plate. You'd have a mini expander in there as well, or a cartridge as well. The cartridges were very nicely sculpted to match the case shape there as well. So with the mini expander you could do a fair bit, but in its basic form, not quite so much. So the story behind this particular device is that Ricky got this over from, I don't know if he got it from the States, but it is a US model. So it's not PAL, it's NTSC. More on that in a minute. He has devised, developed and installed his own composite mod in this as well. Hence the gap here where you'd expect to find a modulator and you don't. So yeah, I'm assuming that the yellow would be the video signal. I'm hoping that the red is the audio as well. So yeah, very little to see on the back of here. Cassette player plugs in there via the 5-DIN to the usual, a mic and an earpiece jack, and you've got what looks like a 3.5mm socket for a printer as well. It's quite interesting. I've never seen a printer use a headphone socket before. Quite interesting. So yeah, Ricky devised a composite mod, fitted it in, and unfortunately, I'm sure he won't be the first, and he certainly won't be the last, forgot that it was a US model before powering it on, and bang, game over. 240 volts through a 110 power supply, and it's taken out the power supply. So hence there's no power supply there. That's just the lead. Right. Let's get back into this box. You know we've got a power supply. So that power supply is a centre positive 24 volt power supply. And yeah, what we've got in here, amongst a bit more packaging, and I'll get to all this good stuff in just a second. There we go. So let's have a closer look at what we've got. Got a PCB there. A little bit more on that in a second. Relatively straightforward looking. Pretty sure that won't give me too many problems, he says now. We've got a series of 3 of these, and if I open one of those up now, if I indeed can on camera without needing a pair of scissors perhaps, Okay, some of you might be quite familiar with what those are. So that is a bucking or a step down switch mode power converter. You will note that there are 3 markings on those, and these are fixed to that board. And ultimately, of course, we've got an input and then we've got an output. So that is our input PSU. Our output is there. Bare back some wires, and we should, and jobs are good, as they say. We've got the connector there. Got the power in there as well. A series of pins, so I can mount those boards in the correct orientation and solder those up where they need to be. I'll more on that later. And a screen as well. Ricky's very kindly salvaged an old test screen because one of mine went faulty, which is really bizarre because those things are rock solid. So yeah, thank you so much for that as well, Ricky. It's really appreciated. Thank you for popping that in there. So you'll have to stay tuned. I'm not doing it right now, but I will be building this up, and this is a replacement power supply for the Mattel Aquarius. Ricky's doing a slightly more professionally finished version of these on his website. There is a holding page for that now if you're interested in getting a modern replacement power supply for your Mattel Aquarius. You can pre-register interest there. The kit version, I believe, is going to be $19.99. I think that's the price that's up there at the moment. If you want the power supply as well, it's an extra £10 on that. But yeah, small price to pay for hopefully future-proofing PSUs renownedly and unfortunately seem to be somewhat unreliable with older micros now. Wherever possible, I do try and use more modern power supplies with mine. But yeah, pre-register your interest online, and as soon as it's got these manufactured, then they'll be going out. The ones online also come with a very snazzy little case as well. All custom 3D printed to fit the board in nice and snug, and all you see is literally the connector on the side, making it super easy for you. You can get, I believe you're going to be able to get it DIY as well as pre-made as well. So yeah, makes things really easy. So that, dear folk, is now mine. Again, thank you very much, Ricky. My Mattel Aquarius. It is in pretty good nick. A very little bit of light cleaning with a mildly damp cloth perhaps would probably see that just right, to be honest. It's an exceedingly good colour. The buttons, keys. Yeah, the old chiclet keyboard style sort of a specky feel buttons. They don't feel too bad, to be honest. Yeah, okay. We'll get back to those at some point. As you can see, they're in particularly good nick, so you can read everything. There's hardly any use on that whatsoever. I'm still amazed that these are as heavy as they are. They feel really rock solid, really robust. So yeah, short version, I'll be soldering up the power supply. I'll be keeping everything crossed at 1, I've done it correctly. 2, that this thing starts up and it actually fires up, and if it doesn't, of course I will be fault finding it here on the channel, and then of course hoping that the composite mod that Ricky's worked on and fitted works as well. So yeah, trying out a number of things and gaining a mini icon sort of in the 8-bit world in the process. So I am not sponsored by You Make Robots. However, I really do advocate his products. They have been really good to date. I use the items that he has sent me almost daily, and they are proving very reliable indeed. So heartily recommend them. So check out his website. Keep tuned. I'll be building this up this weekend, hopefully releasing another video. I will be giving that just a first trial run. Will it power on? Don't know, who knows. And looking forward to learning a little bit more about the Aquarius. So do join me again in another video, but for now, stay safe and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye now.